Hello out there. We're on the air. It's curling night tonight. Welcome to MoPac After Dark as part of the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships. This is your host, Ryan Olson, saying hello and welcome to Oakland, California, where we have a nightcap featuring a Coyotes clash, two teams from Tempe, Arizona, the Coyotes Curling Club. We have Team Tait and Team Aronson, two strong rinks out of the Coyotes Club. Teams had just finished their draw to the button to see who would go last, the hammer advantage, and it appears that Tait prevailed, so they will go last, and we're going to see the teams. Before action gets underway, just a reminder that coverage of the MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg is brought to you by doubletakeout.com and by curling.gg and by Endgame Curling. So we're just about ready to get underway here. Another full slate of games on tap. As they do their final slides, just to let you guys know that we have games on Sheet A featuring Team Meyer and Team Campbell. This is three men's games and two women's games. So we have Meyer and Campbell on Sheet A. Sheet B is the Tait Aronson game. Sheet C is Gilbert of Oval Curling of Utah taking a Team Murray of Coyotes. And then two women's games on tap tonight. We have Sheet D, Thingdarai of San Francisco taking on another San Francisco rink, Camarena. And then on Sheet D, we have McDonald, skipped by Megan Rowe, taking on Team Aubrey. That's another Coyotes clash. So looks like we're about ready to get underway as Joel Calhoun, the lead for Team Aronson, gets set. Aronson has the broom down, and we are underway here in our nightcap. We have 12 teams in the men's field. This is the first men's game that we're broadcasting, although the men have been playing throughout the day. Just the broadcast was set up, so we had two women's games to start things off. We have 12 teams in the field, and we have two pools in action right now. So each team will get 5 games, a minimum, and then we'll see who will qualify for the playoffs. And then the winner will secure a berth to the U.S. National Championships coming up later this spring. So that was a good guard, y'all, put up by Calhoun. Let's see what Jeff Kunkel can do. Looks like he's trying to try and draw around. Looks like it's hanging out a little bit. Settles in the back of the house, and so it looks like Aronson is asking for a hit and roll from Calhoun. So as I was mentioning, the championship will advance to the national championships for clubs coming up in March in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And it looks like this hit and roll is going to be made, just a slight roll outside. And that does draw play into the rings. As we see Jeff throw his second stone. As coverage of this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Going to, I think, just kiss that yellow, but has enough energy to push the yellow back through the house out of play. We can look at the overhead and see there's that high center guard. Um, as we've been mentioning through the event, as we fade to black again. Uh, we have the no tick rule in effect as an enhancement of the 5 rock free guard zone rule. And this is the 5th rock at the end. So they put up one more guard. Looks like Kevin Maloney is going to be drawing around. Let me show you what I'm seeing. Looks like it's just a little heavy. The draw selection has been all in turns so far, the clockwise rotation. I said it's a little heavy, but it settles into the back of the house pretty nicely, buried under the guard. So, as we now see Woody Woo with his first shot of the game. Another in turn. I think looking to draw on top of the Maloney shot that was just delivered. This one's coming up maybe just a smidge on the short side, but let's see where it ends up. It's around the guard. Now let's see where it ends up. It's going to settle in top of the 8-foot, just a couple inches closer than the Yellowstone. So that is going to be shot stone. A good shot there from Woody. And it looks like Maloney is being asked to do another draw around the guard. Looking to maybe line some things up to help set up the rest of the end. This is looking pretty good. Just a little, I was going to say a little light, but actually I was talking about maybe setting up some angles, and that does seem to set up the angle pretty well for Aronson to uh, execute a takeout later in this end. As Wu delivers his second stone, going for the out turn for the first time in a while. Out turn being the counterclockwise rotation. This is curling up pretty nicely. Let's see, it's going to get around that guard. And it's going to settle in the top 12-foot ring as Aronson takes a look to see who is closer. I think it's yellow by just a sliver. So the broom's down to execute that takeout raise that we were contemplating as Jason Halleck throws his first. Sweepers are working to hold on to that stone. It's over curling a smidge. Let's see if it hangs on. It does not. It just kind of exchanges yellows. The angle still is there for Aronson to take on. But it looks like Tait wants to put another blue into the rings and make it that much harder for Aronson to find some joy, as it were. So looking at the angles, and they've settled on tapping the blues back, which seems to make sense to me. As we see Wayne Fleming throw his first, another out turn. Looking for a little tap back, actually, instead of a draw. And we do see that tap back. It does put those blues close together. Also, it looks like the yellow in the back was dislodged slightly, so they're trying to repositioning it. So it looks like Tait is sitting 1, 3, 4 in terms of the order of the rocks, and then Aronson has 2 and 5. So it looks like Aronson's looking at the angles still, which makes a lot of sense. Looking to bump out that blue. Kind of hanging out, but it does bump the blue out, and the shooter itself will roll away. Such a tricky situation because Tait has the hammer, and they're sitting 1 right now, and it looks like they want to draw in. As Halleck delivers his second shot, looking for a draw. Based on where Tait has the broom, it looks like he wants to put it on right next to the other blues. Actually, this is going to end up in a really nice place, like right on the pin. It is a little open, so it looks like that Aronson's going to try to do a draw like right on top of it, maybe tap the blue back and then have the yellow be shot. So a little roll towards the center would be nice from this view. As Aronson pushes out from the hack. Looks like a pretty smooth release. Supers jump on it. Looking to park right on top of the blue. It's going to be close. Losing some speed now as the sweepers keep trying to coax it to go just a little bit further. And that's just going to end up a little light. Line looked pretty good. Just ended up coming down just a little short, unfortunately. So it looks like based on where Fleming has the broom, Sean Tait is going to try to, draw in front of the yellow that's on the right side. I was trying to guess like maybe draw around and sit another stone, which is possible, but I think preventing any sort of run back would be the bigger priority at this point in the end. This is Sean Tait's first. Looking for. Yeah, it's close. I think it might tap a little bit. It's pretty guardy as they jump on to finish it, and it will get a little tap action. I think they may have wanted to keep it a little higher because it looks like they might try to do the blue yellow run back. The angles are a little tricky, but there's a that blue on the side there, which will be a bit of a bumper, I would guess. They could try to draw again, but that is what they're setting up is the draw. It looks like, and that makes sense too because they are facing two right now. So if they were able to draw successfully, they would hopefully cut Tate down to one or maybe be sitting shot, depending on how this draw goes. So this is the last rock coming now from Sean Aronson. Looking to draw. His last rock was a little short, so let's see if they made the adjustments to end up in the right place. Oh, so they are doing the tap based on where they have the broom. So it is a heavy draw. They're trying to coax it over, and let's see if it's going to get there. It taps it. Not enough. So they needed another, I think, another half stone, a curl. And so now Tate has a draw for three. So just very interesting how these ends can turn pretty quickly. And sometimes you see like teams like this like get into a takeout game pretty quickly, and both of these teams are pretty patient and did a lot of draws to start off the game. Looks like there were only about four hits this entire round, which is considering the fact that there are 16 shots, to have only about a quarter of them be takeouts is uh, pretty surprising for teams of this nature. Looking to draw for the third point. It's looking pretty good, and it is there for three. I'm pretty sure it's three. I don't know if they want to take a look at. Yeah, they kicked the rocks, so it's 3 points. So Tate gets three, but Aronson gets a hammer, and we'll be back in just a moment when our coverage continues from the doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships. And this event is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Ken Pomeroy updates the website with stats and information about the top men's and women's teams from around the world, using a custom algorithm to rank the teams so you can see how those teams match up against each other at doubletakeout.com. This event is also being brought to you by curling.gg. For skips and curlers who love a good game, curling.gg is your ultimate practice tool. Free, easy, and all about strategy. Visit curling.gg to test your skills right meow. And we're also supported by Endgame Curling, elevating the standard for high performance brooms, a manufacturer of two types of brooms, including the Endgame Icon and the Endgame Origin, as well as the travel handle, which breaks into three pieces. Full carbon fiber handle engineered for convenience and fits most carry on luggage. EndgameCurling.com. So first rock of the second end from Jeff Kunkel, looking for the in-turn draw into the rings. And it looks like Joel Calhoun is going to just tap that out. Looking for another intern takeout. Looks like that shot is made from Calhoun. He's only thrown intern so far. And this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. As you see the net stone coming from Jeff Kunkel. Looking for a hit. And Jeff has been curling for 3 years. Some of his experience includes the A event winner at the 2022 MoPac 5 and Under, playing second. Also as the A event winner at the Pacific Northwest Curling Association's 5 and Under in 2024. And also was a qualifier for the U5 Nationals as skip. So pretty good record as he made that hit. And the broom's down for. Oh, I guess he didn't make the hit. I apologize. Joel Calhoun looking to, I think, either draw around or tap back. Joel's been curling for 12 years. Was a previous champion of this event, the club men's club Playdowns in 17, 23, and 24. Just ends up switching those two stones out, so I'm gonna store that as a miss, unfortunately. Also went to club nationals 3 times. Best finish was in fourth place as lead. As we see the first rock for the end coming from Woody Woo. He's been curling for 4 years. And this is going to be a takeout. Looking to coax it out, and it does move it back to the back of the rings, but not a full takeout. Moves things around a bit, though. As we see the first rock to the end coming from Kevin Maloney. Kevin's been curling for 11 years. Looking to draw around, it looks like. Curling for 11 years, went to the U.S. 5 and Under Nationals in 2020 and 2019. This is a bit heavy. It's going to settle in the back forefoot, it looks like. As you can see from the overhead view here. It's the second end, by the way. Forgot to change that. As we see the net strut coming from Woody. And Woody has been curling for 4 years. Looking for the out-turn hits. The hit's made, and the shooter's going to roll across the ring and out of play, but the hit is made. Mission accomplished. Woody's been curling for 4 years, was the MoPac 500 champion in 22. Also was the inaugural champion at the MoPac 25 and under, which is where the team's total experience adds up to 25 years or less. As we see the next rock coming from Mr. Maloney. I think just looking to put another rock in the rings, looking to draw around, it looks like. The blue is going to crash on the blue and roll in on top of or near the other yellow in the rings. Possible double, which I think Tait's going to take on. Especially based on where he has the broom. Asking Wayne Fleming to take it on. And Wayne's been curling for 16 years. Swooping now, the weight's not like a missile, but you don't need a missile with these rocks and with his eyes. Looks like they're going to get one. Are they going to get both? Just the one, it appears. But we can look around the rings now. It is now Tait sitting 1 and 3 in order of the storing position, and then Aronson sitting second shot in the back of the 12 foot. So looks like Fleming is being asked to. Sorry, this is Jason Halleck with his first. And it does pop the blue out and scoots past the yellow in the back. So it's now Aronson sitting 2. That was a good shot there from Halleck. It's a little cool in here, but I'm drawing heat from a burrito that was delivered to me, which I appreciate. Net start coming from Fleming. Went to Arena Nationals in 2013. Again, it's one of those, I think, experiences that predates before the club had dedicated eyes. Gonna get the 1. Are they gonna get 2? Yes, indeed. Say sayonara to those 2 Aronson yellows. That's a double takeout brought to you by doubletakeout.com. And let's see if Halleck can return the favor as he is set up for a double takeout of his own in the top of the house. Looks like they're going to get 1, and that's it. Not bad from Halleck. And Halleck has been curling for 10 years. Went to MoPac Club Playdowns many, many years. Too many to count. I'll try to recap that maybe in a future end. As it looks like we're trading hits now, as we are to skip stones, and Sean Tait has made it down the ice, looking to pop out that Aronson yellow and make it much harder for Aronson to score multiple points in this end. Looks like a pretty good release. I think maybe they're hoping for a little bit of a roll. Maybe not. As they make contact and a little bit of a kiss on the blue on the side. So they did get some movement. They do also got rid of the Aronson yellow. So it looks like Aronson is going to go for the double here. If he makes this, it looks like I would guess a blank for this end. Have Aronson carry the hammer to the next stand and see what their prospects are. So Sean Aronson's been curling for 8 years. He's been to the MoPac Club Playdown 7 times. Been a runner-up in the event twice in 18 and 23, and reached Club Nationals in 23. Has some other experience that we'll recap shortly. Looking for a double, perhaps, although don't know if it's there. Excuse me. Going to go 1 and just kisses that blue on the top side, or it'd be the left side from the other view we had. Excuse me. My goodness. I have not started eating the burrito. I don't know where that came from. So with Tait sitting 1, it looks like Tait is going to try to draw in and make it that much harder for Aronson to get access to the button even to score 1. So Sean Tate's been curling for 21 years. His experience includes the 2013 Club Playdowns as runner-up. The burrito is a carnitas burrito for inquiring minds at home. Looks like from not quite sure the restaurant, but it can recommended. Happy to give it a shot. Also, they delivered, which is always nice. As we looked at the overhead here, looks like it is going to be good for Shot Rock as the team Tait exchanges fist bumps. And so it looks like Aronson's just going to bop the bop the blue for one. Good force there from Tait, and Aronson's going to be not necessarily happy to take the one, but just that's going to be the best outcome given this setup. So yeah, it's the burrito like oh it's so warm. Just so many different ways you can describe the warmth of burrito. So this is Aronson's last rock here. Looking for a nose hit for one. Trying to coach it over. They don't want to hit it on the side and have it risk it running out. And it does roll a little wide and it rolls a little too far, unfortunately. So that's going to be a steal of one for Tait. So just an unfortunate hit on the wrong side of the rock, as it were. So Tait will take a 4-0 lead into the second end. And we're going to take a pause and we'll be right back as we continue with our coverage of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships coming to you live from Oakland. While we're waiting for the action to continue on our feature sheet, let's take a quick look around the rings, thanks to the overhead cameras provided by San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. We are keeping track of the scores at bondspieler.com. On sheet A, the game between Team Meyer of San Francisco and Team Campbell of Coyotes. Meyer's up 1-0 with play in the second end. Sheet B is our feature game. Tait is up 4-0 over Aronson and the Coyotes clash. On sheet C, Team Gilbert from Oval Curling of Utah is up 2-0 over Murray of Coyotes. And then we have two women's games on the ice. We have Team Thunderai of San Francisco up 2-1 over Team Camarena, also of San Francisco. And then the other game on the ice is Team McDonald, skipped by Macon Grow, up 1-0 over Team Aubrey. Also, they're both from Coyotes. And Team McDonald is being skipped by Macon Grow because the skip, Andy McDonald, is in Torino, Italy, representing Team USA at the World University Games. So best of luck to Andy and her rink. Also including Abby Lynn and another Coyotes player. I'll look that up in a moment. But that keeps you up to date on the action, and we will visit that again shortly. So rocks in play. Looks like for Tait, looks like Jeff drew in. Looks like they're trying to put up a corner guard, and it's going to slip into the rings from Joel Calhoun. So that would just take the opportunity to bop it. Trying to think of all the other sound effects that came with the game bop it. Twist it, turn it, sweep it, stream it. Ah! I'm not going to stream it to the microphone because that's not classy. So looking for a takeout. And looking for a bop and a twist here. And just the bop. But that takeout was made. Looks like Jeff's been throwing, alternating between throwing takeouts and hits. As this end is being brought to you by End Game Curling. And let's see what we have here from Calhoun with the intern takeouts. Shot made. But play is being drawn into the rings as I'm going to update the scoreboard. With an extra D for some reason. And another hit successfully made there from Woody Woo. And this open house does tend to favor Tait, given the score and given the fact that Aronson needs Roxon play to try to generate multiple points. So I wonder if Aronson's going to ask if Aronson's going to try and change it up. But no, we're going to hit, which is totally fine too. As Kevin Maloney goes for the takeout. And that hit is made. I'm not going to be eating this burrito during the game. For people at home wondering, I'm not. Uh, I've done some snacking during the fourth end break at times, but the burrito like this, it needs to be cherished, like like a like a newborn child. So it was made. We have an open house now, so it looks like Tait is just going to draw. As we see Woody's next rock coming down the way. Let me show you what I'm seeing. Sean's jumping in on the sweeping. When you have three sweepers join in, that's definitely a sign that the rock needed some help, especially since the third sweeper is not as effective as the other two sweepers. Um, the further you are away from the stone, the less effective you are at sweeping. So, but it was enough to get the rock to be a tight guard, close to the center of the rings, as we see Kevin throw his next rock, looking to draw around. It appears. It's done, definitely trying to get around. Now let's see where it's going to end up. And it's going to settle in the back 4 foot, but it looks to be about 80% exposed. And so uh, Tait is going to get a pretty good look at this. Jason Halleck, the person throwing the rock, is. But it does get a rock in play for Team Aronson. As Halleck. Oh, this is Tait, pardon me. So this would be Wayne Fleming's first stone. Looking to looking to bop the yellow out. Looks a little tight to the guard, and it does crash on the guard. So this does change things around a little bit. Just just a little tight to the guard. Not a bad outcome though. Although it does give Aronson an opportunity to put another rock in play. So this is a chance now for Aronson to possibly get 2 points out of this end. As Jason Halleck delivers, Team Aronson are primarily wearing custom jackets from Dynasty Curling, patterned after the former Hockey Night in Canada commentator Don Cherry. Uh, Don Cherry was a controversial figure and was removed from the air after just some comments that were deemed inappropriate. But one thing that you can't dispute is that Cherry had some uh, pretty bold and brash sartorial sense of style. and that is what these uniforms are patterned after. So that draw is good for second shot, and so it looks like Tait just wants to blow it up as we see Fleming with his second stone, looking to see some granite fly here. Weight looks pretty good. And wow, just a really nice shot. I was expecting both of those stones to go, and with the finesse of Fleming, does just get the yellow to go away. So really good shot there from Fleming. So it looks like Aronson's going to try that draw again. So the chat is talking about what might be inappropriate comments in curling, and there's always some inappropriate comments. If you want to be silly inappropriate and not like rude inappropriate, um, the podcast Two Girls in a Game had a segment called Dirty Curling Talk, and some of the phrases that come up, like hit it in the crotch, or uh, some other things. I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but crotch shot is pretty common in the sport of curling, and very few people bat an eye when people refer to that. So that draw was made. Looks like a great shot there from Halleck. As we now go to skip stones. Looks like there is a double there though, which which is also my catchphrase. If it's a modestly thin double, but it looks to be there. Kevin Martin says, with takeouts, you can look at the angles, and you usually want to hit it like at a 90-degree angle. So it looks like they're set to do that, as Sean Tait is getting set. And definitely, it looks like the YouTube chat is having a lot of fun. I'm having fun too, just minus the beverages and the burrito until this game is done. But when the game is done, I shall savor the burrito. Looking for a possible double. Let's see the weight. Oh, it looks like he's just going to hit one, which is not a bad call given the setup and the scoreboard situation. Going to hit and it's going to roll. It's to roll a little too far, but still not a bad outcome for Tait. As it does narrow the scoring area. So it looks like Aronson's looking at maybe putting another yellow on top, which seems possible. The other possibility I was thinking about is splitting the scoring area a little bit, so then it'd be hard for Tait to get both to go away. Although the shot making of both these teams is it's not a gimme, or it's not a guarantee that Tait will miss. But it looks like they are going to heavy draw, like almost hack weight, and tap the yellow back onto the blue, it appears, and it actually creates some backing, which would favor Aronson. I say that, but also how Aronson is holding the rock. It looks like they're going for the outturn counterclockwise release, and he is. So they are going to try and split the scoring area. They kind of psyched me out, those guys. 14-2 hog to hog. Depending on how the ice speed, it seemed like a little heavy, and it is going to settle in. Actually, it's a really great shot there from Aronson. Great draw. I said it might be a little heavy, but actually it's right where they want it. They want it kind of even with their shot stone. So then Tate can't easily get both, and I don't think Tate can get both. So it looks like they're going to try and heavy draw, tap the. I say heavy draw. I think it might just be a regular draw and park right on top of the yellow. Oops. So we're going to watch the rock as it travels down the way from this view. Uh, as the sweepers are on it now, they're off. So okay, so they're not going to go after the stone on the left. They're going to go after the stone on the right, and be content to maybe give up two here, which is not a bad outcome. Again, considering the scoreboard and considering the caliber of play we're seeing tonight, I think they may have wanted to have a little bit more roll towards the shot stone on the left from this view, but you know, can't get everything you want sometimes. So the broom's down, looking for a nose hit for two. Want to hit it on the inside so that it doesn't roll wide, which I think is kind of what hurt them in the first end. As we have the last rock coming now from Sean Aronson, looking for a nice clean hit for 2 points. Sweepers are on it. This is curling. Let's see if it's going to hang on. Ooh, no. Oh, no. That's going to go through the house out of play. So, going to be a single point. And just not quite sure what happened there. I don't know if it picked or just the wrong line. Does get Aronson on the board, which is sometimes all that you need, especially to try and get things started, just like the Black Eyed Peas used to sing. Also, Fergalicious for some reason. It's Team Tate 4, Aronson 1. We're just going to take a quick pause and we'll be right back to the MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. Let's see here. So we're about to start the fourth end. You can see the clocks in the background. As I mentioned throughout the tournament, these games are being timed. Teams have 30 minutes of what's called thinking time to play their game. And usually it's more than enough, but it's also encouraged. The clocks are in place to encourage timely play and not too much lollygagging. So it looks like for Aronson, Joel threw the intern draw to the top of the range. I don't know if that's what he wanted. Again, like Aronson needs Roxon play to score multiple points. The scoreboard is not correct. At least I don't think so. Oh no, it's correct. I apologize. They have not updated the scoreboard in the background. Looks like the hits made from Jeff Kunkel through three ends. Kunkel's thrown a takeout and a draw in every end, and that was his takeout for this fourth end. Let's see if he's going to draw next. As we see the net draw coming from Joel Calhoun, looking for a draw. I think looking for that guard this time. Joel has been throwing kind of the same, kind of a guard or a draw, and then a hit. Um, Made most of the shots. He was asked to do a tap back in the second end, and that was not there. Otherwise, he's done fairly well so far in this game. The chat is coming up with lyrics to the song Ryanlicious, which is apparently an update on Fergalicious, which, yeah, uh, makes them rocks go loco. So, as we see the net stone coming from Kunkel, going to the outturn draw, looking to get around that center-ish guard. Calhoun did make that guard, though. Not on the center line, so the no-tick rule is not in effect for that. Not It's kind of hanging out, so it's not going to be covered, but it does put another Tait blue into the rings. I'm trying to think of more lyrics to the original Fergalicious song. I know there's a point where the singers go, what? And I don't know what we would sing about in a curling-based version of the song, but we'll keep exploring it. As we see the net route coming from Kevin Maloney, looking to hit the blue, but this is going to be close. It's going to flash, unfortunately. Just a unfortunate miss there from Kevin. So Tait is sitting two, and it looks like we're going to do some clearing action now from Woody Woo. His rock's underway. Woody has thrown to this point three takeouts and three draws. So everyone's being asked to throw kind of a mix of shots here. And this is also going to flash. Wow, that's two misses, one from each team. Not quite sure what's going on here. And I don't know if the teams on the ice are making the adjustments. I'm going to say I don't know if they know what's going on the ice, but they do. They're making adjustments. That's one of the parts of the game is seeing what's happening to the ice and adjusting accordingly. So it looks like Aronson is going to attack that blue from the outside and trying to coax it over, make sure it goes away. It does. The shooter's also going to go away. So that takeout is made from Maloney. And I've resisted the urge to say my Maloney through four ends. So I also haven't found an organic way to introduce it into the conversation. So just noting that I haven't said it, that's my note. As we see Woody Woo, his net shot, looking to peel out that yellow, and that shot is going to be made as the shooter goes through the house out of play. So it is Tait sitting one partially buried in the back of the house with some cover. And the next rock is away. Oh, hello. There we go. People have work tomorrow. According to the chat, that's news to me. I'm here all weekend. As we see This rock settled in the back button, buried. This is MoPac after dark. Just totally understandable if people need to step away, maybe need to eat a burrito. You know, everyday things that happen to common folk like you and I. So it looks like Fleming's gonna peel the guard. I say that. Oh my goodness. They ended up taking their own rock out. So that does shift things slightly towards Aronson. Let's see if he's going to be able to capitalize on it. Halleck had that really nice draw in the last shot. Let's see what he does here as his shot's away. So looking to put one top 12, top of the rings. If it settles on top of the yellow, that's maybe a pretty good place for it to end up. And it does end up buried. There is some separation. So that was a good shot there from Halleck. Another good draw. That's two in a row. Halleck has thrown out of 8 possible shots, he's thrown 5 draws and he's made them all. So it looks like Tait is considering his quandary and looking to maybe hit the yellow and roll wide to the left from this view. That is the shot. That yellow is second stone and is about 60% open. As we see Fleming with his second, looking for some redemption with his in-turn hit and roll. It's hanging out. Oh my goodness. This is not going to come back. And we sometimes talk about the announcer's jinx, and I guess I have to take credit for that. That was a jinx on my part. So apologies to Fleming. And now the pendulum swings a little bit closer in favor of Team Aronson, sitting two partially covered. They don't have the hammer, so I think what they would like to do is maybe put up a guard or put up something that high to kind of protect the nest, as it were, like a mama bird, like a fierce mama bird, as it were. As we are to skip stones, and as Sean Aronson gets set for his first rock. Gonna time this one. Probably looking for probably about 15 seconds, I would guess, for a high rock. Going for an in turn. And this is going to be a guard. I got almost like 17-7. I may have over curled. Actually, it looks like it's in a pretty good position. It is covering the second stone. So down the middle, there's some staggered center guards protecting the nests. And it looks like Tate's going to try and draw on the right side where we haven't been too much in this game. I mean this end, pardon me. But Tate does have the hammer, and I think maybe looking to just put another rock into the rings to prevent giving up a big number to Aronson. As Sean Tait gets set. There's two Seans who are skipping, but they spelled their names differently. Sean Tait spells his name Shawn, and then Aronson spells his Sean Sean. So just some fun curling trivia that you can wow your friends with. This draw looks pretty good. The weight does. Let's see where it sits down. It's hanging out wide and it's going to go to the back of the forefoot, and that's going to be third shot, I believe. So it looks like Aronson has a chance to close the door, as it were. That's one of my phrases. Close the nest. They talked about drawing into the forefoot, and I don't think that might be the call because then Tait can maybe just throw a missile just to move some of these rocks out of the way. I say that it's when you look at it from the head-on view, I don't think you can throw a lot of heat at any rock that ends up in the forefoot. So I take that back. They could draw to the forefoot, um, but I think just drawing to the top 12 and trying to take your two and be very very happy about this outcome heading into the fourth end break. But again, this is Sean Aronson's last without the hammer here in the fourth end. Weight looks like it's going to go to the forefoot. And that's where they wanted it. So that is a shot made. Although when you look at it from the head-on view, it does kind of create the situation where Tait could double those two yellows out, just based kind of on the angle. Although they're looking at maybe drawing on the other side. Aronson's sitting 3 right now. A miss could be catastrophic. Well, I say catastrophic. It would get Aronson back into the game. It would just kind of be starting over, tied after 4. Um, so this is going to be a shot to minimize the damage, as it were. Maybe end up shot because there is that space on the button that can be drawn to if the rocks curl enough, and the rocks are curling on this top or left side from this view. So some teams like to throw the high hard ones, and these teams so far they're willing to throw hits, but they're also equally willing to draw. And this does seem to be like a reasonable call, at the very least to minimize the damage as Sean Tait throws his last, the in-turn draw, facing 3. Sweepers are on it. Looks pretty close. Coming up a little light as the vise comes out to help. Let's see where it's going to end up, and it's going to end up, ooh, right on the button. Now it's going a little too far, but it's enough. Looks like shots. As Halleck takes a closer look at it, and he agrees that is a bonzer shot there from Sean Tait. 4 points, man. My goodness. So that's a hard way to score one, but I'm sure Sean Tait and his rink will take it, and it will take a 5-1 lead into the fourth end break. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, we'll have some more coverage from the 2025 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships coming to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. And this event is being brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Ken Pomeroy updates the site with the latest stats and information and uses a custom algorithm to rank the top men's and women's teams from around the world. DoubleTakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Test your skip skills against your friends online at curling.gg, free online curling platform with real physics simulation. and by Endgame Curling. Bring your curling broom on the road with ease with the Endgame Travel Handle. A full carbon fiber handle is engineered for convenience and fits most carry-on luggage and compatible with the heads of other curling broom brands. Endgamecurling.com. So we're going to take a pause in the action. We'll be right back to the MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. Welcome back to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships. Coming to you live from Oakland. Roxton play. We are underway here in the fifth end. I do have to say that I did dig into the burrito in the fourth end break, and it's pretty good. I definitely felt like a Sarah McLachlan song coming on, and I'm inspired to adopt an animal or help the Humane Society. So uh, something to be said for good food. And also something to be said for good curling. We've had a pretty good game here. Scoreboard doesn't necessarily reflect how close it's been, especially that last end where Team Tait was facing three Aronson Yellowstones, and Sean Tait just nailed a draw to the button for a single point. That's a 4 point swing right there. So Aronson has the hammer again for this end, as we see Jeff Kunkel throw his second stone. Aronson put up a corner guard with his first from lead Joel Calhoun. And this definitely looks like a situation where Aronson's going to try and set up some offense with the guards, and Tait is going to keep putting rocks into the rings uh, until Aronson feels like he needs to address it. So right now there's two Tait blues in the rings. And looking for a draw around that corner guard that was just put up by Calhoun. This is a draw. Looks like it's going to get around that guard. Now let's see how deep it will go into the house. And it will end up as a shot rock buried in the top 8 foot. That was a good draw there from Joel. So it looks like Tait is going to ask Woody to just follow Joel's last stone down the way. Sweepers are on. They're really, really pounding that ice to make sure it goes down the way. And this is going to pull up just maybe a hair short, but great sweeping there from the Tait sweepers. So now Aronson's down 4. We're halfway through the game. Hmm. I was wondering about maybe playing on that blue that's towards the bottom of the screen, but they are opting to put another rock on top undercover, which is a good strategy to kind of keep putting rocks into protected areas. And let me show you what I'm seeing. This looks pretty close from Maloney, pretty much where Sean wanted it. And it does set up a possible run back for a subsequent Aronson shot. So Tait is asking Wu to peel the guard. With an in-turn clockwise rotation. It is going to clear the guard, and the shooter is going to roll back towards the center, kind of blocking the yellow that was just put up by Maloney. So now the question is, what does Aronson do? And now he's looking at the other side of the house, as this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Looking for a hit and a little roll from Maloney's second stone here. Hit. It's a little too strong. The roll's going to roll through the rings. Going to stick around in the back of the playing area, but not in the house and not scoring. So I'd say it's a slight miss for the hit and roll. So now Tait wants Wu to take on the remaining yellow rock in the house. And this looks pretty good. Although, no, it crashes on the blue that's in the rings. And so now Aronson is probably going to put another yellow on the right side of the sheet from this view to create offset stones, offset scoring stones, and make it hard for Tait to do a takeout. So unfortunate miss there from Woody. So it looks like they're changing up the call. Looking to draw, maybe do a little tap back action, or taption as I like to call it. This is Jason Halleck's first, I believe. Looking for a draw. A little freeze wouldn't be too bad. A little roll wouldn't be bad. A little hit and a little roll towards the forefoot. Does poke out the other side about 60%. So Tate's looking at the double takeout, which makes sense. I was also thinking you could just draw on the other side, which is a possibility. Looking for the double takeout. As we see Wayne Fleming get set. This floated out just a smidge. It will get one of the yellows out of the way. So positive outcome for Wayne. So it looks like Aronson wants to try the draw from the other side. Looks like it's carrying just a little bit. Let's see if it's going to sit down in time. Sweeping for a little tap. And so now Tate's going to take on the double from that inside. As we are two skip stones. I think they're looking at the angle more than anything. That is the shots. I'm trying to think that there might be other things they could do, but the takeout, especially a possible double takeout, is something that you probably got to take on. As Fleming has the broom down for Sean Tait. Looks like he's going to throw a decent amount of speed at this. This is the first rock here without the hammer in the fifth end. Sean Tait. Looks like it curled almost right out of his hands. Sweeping, and I don't think they're going to hold on to it. Oh, but no, it does crash on the guard. So it looked really, really, really close. Uh, but now Aronson has a chance to put a third rock into scoring position and then kind of challenged Tait to get rid of at least one or two of them, maybe three if he's lucky. But this is definitely shaping up to be a multiple point end for Aronson if things continue along this trajectory. So nothing is certain. But this is a pretty big opportunity shaping up for Sean Aronson, looking to draw here with his first in the fifth with the hammer. Going to time this stone, see where it might end up. About 15.3, so a little on the light side, and it's also over curling. So it's good for fourth shot, but it looks like the shot that Tait tried to do last time is still there. Maybe if he gave more ice or more weight. I don't think weight was the issue necessarily. They could try to draw, but that's tricky. Although Sean Tait had an excellent draw in his back pocket the last end, but they are lining up for the double takeout again. Um, and depending on if the blue sticks around, Aronson might have a draw for one or might have a shot for two. Um, if the shooter sits around, it's probably just gonna be a shot for one. If the shooter goes away and those yellows go away, then Aronson can probably try to maybe tap out that blue in the back for a second point, which, given the scoreboard and the time, I think he would have to take on. So they're considering the angles. That angle doesn't help too much. You can kind of get a sense of how things look over the shoulder, but it's still hard to see what's going on. So looking at the angles that they need, doing okay on time. They have three more ends after this. They're on the cusp of being tied on time. As Tait has the broom down, looking for, I think, a similar weight shot to their last, just with more weight. I mean, with more eyes, pardon me. So they have 10 seconds, sorry, 10 minutes. If they had 10 seconds, that would be not great. They have 10 minutes to play three ends, which is on the cusp of being very tight on time. You want to play ends in about 3.5 minutes or so in terms of the thinking time. So Tate's got a good game going, but they have been burning time. like it's the 4th of July. As we see the last rock coming for Sean Tait without the hammer here in the fifth end. This looks pretty good, actually. Gonna bump and roll. Oh, goodness. So I said it looked good, but it's actually a miss, unfortunately, there from Sean Tait. I definitely appreciate people tuning in. Someone pointed out in the chat we have 35 simultaneous viewers, and it's a school night. So definitely appreciate everyone being here. Get to see some great curlers from throughout the region vying for a chance to compete at Club Nationals coming up in March in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So after a great draw in that last end, Sean Tait had a couple misses, unfortunately. And so now Sean Aronson is going to go for the higher percentage shot. Uh, Aronson could have tried to tap out the blue in the back of the house for a possible fourth point, but he's sitting two right now, a chance for three. And I don't know how he would have been able to get to the blue in the back. So draw for three, and really a chance to get back into this game. As we have all three sweepers. Did he pull the string on this? And he did, unfortunately. So it's just going to end up being two for Aronson. And just a missed opportunity there. I don't know if there was something on the ice, as it looks like they're trying to talk about what happened and maybe a discussion about the release from Aronson coming from Vice Skip Halleck. So it's good for two. Definitely helps Aronson, but not quite the bonanza that people may have hoped for Team Aronson. It's a 5-3, and Tate's going to have the hammer when we come back to the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by Curling.gg. As they're about to get started with this end, let's do another look around the rings. Scores are being posted on Spieler.com, the site that hosts our scoring. Pretty close games all around. On sheet A, we have Team Meyer with a 1 point lead, 3-2 over Team Campbell. Meyer hails from San Francisco, Campbell from Coyotes. Sheet B is our feature game. Tait is up 5-3 over Aronson. Both teams are from Coyotes. On sheet C, Murray has struck back from Coyotes, taking 3 points in the last two ends to take a 3-2 lead over Team Gilbert from the Oval of Utah. Two women's games on the ice. We have a tie right now between two Bay Area teams. Thengda Durai and Camarena both tied at 2 on sheet D. And then on sheet E, a Coyotes clash between Team McDonald, skipped by Megan Rowe, is still up 4-3 over Team Aubrey of Coyotes. But Aubrey has struck back with 2 points in the third and a single in the fourth. So lots of action still happening, and including on our feature sheets, as we're getting set to see Joel Calhoun throw his second rock, I believe. Rocks in play right now include a high guard from Joel on the center line, and then Jeff Kunkel responded by drawing around that to sit in the top 4 foot. And so it looks like Calhoun's going to draw around his own guards. and settling in the top 12 foots. Maybe setting up the angles for maybe bumping that blue out of the way. I'm trying to keep score in terms of shooting percentages, and then it's kind of like with baseball scorecards. You kind of reach a point where I was like, it it doesn't make sense to keep going because you've missed just a couple too many plays. I might pick it up again in a bit as we see this draw come to the left side of the yellow rock. Gonna just, I think, just tap it ever so slightly. To look to see how things appear from the overhead button camera. And it looks like Aronson wants to run the blue onto the yellow onto the blue with this net stone coming from Kevin Maloney. It's handing out though. And it's going to be Flash City, population 1 yellow. Just traveling through, unfortunately, with that miss. So now the battle for the angles seems to favor Team Tait as Woody Woo delivers his first of this sixth end of a possible 8 ends of regulation. Just looking for a guard to make it hard for that run back from Aronson, and that looks like a mission accomplished there from Woo. Full points. And so now Aronson's looking at maybe drawing to the corner of the shot stone from the other side. Create some backing. So looking for maybe back four weights just to create a bit of a backboard. Aronson could try to just force here. And if they force Tait to a single point, then Aronson would need to get a pretty big number with a hammer in the seventh end and steal the last. It's a pretty tall order, especially since this rock is kind of coasting. So it looks like the rocks don't seem to be curling towards the walkway as much, as far as I can tell. Just to make a guess after watching 3 games today, that rock does remain in play, so not a bad outcome for Kevin Maloney. As the next rock comes from Wu, and it looks like it's going to be a clearing action. Actually, it's another guard, it appears. Another solid shot there from Mr. Wu. So now there's a bit of a wall built in front of the house, and Aronson's looking for options here. The situation in the house is Tait sitting 1 and 4 with Aronson sitting 2-3. And I think Aronson would like to reverse that situation as we see Halleck's first rock here. Needs to get it around the guard. It looks like it's there. And now let's see how deep he can get it. It's going to need to be pulled just a bit further by the sweepers. How far can they get it? And they get it to the 4-foot for second shot. It looks like a pretty good sweep there from Kevin and Joel, the front end of Team Aronson. So it looks like Tate's going to try and do a very similar shot with the first from Wayne Fleming. Out-turn counterclockwise draw. Fleming's had some rocks down this path that have kind of hanged out. He got skunked in the 2 ends ago coming this direction. So let's see if he's on the money this time. And I think what he's being asked to do definitely worked out. It was a bit wide, but it came back and just added another rock to the wall, like another brick in the wall, to quote a famous song. Um, I think it's Pink Floyd, but I was going to say it might be a Minecraft reference. So, because kids yearn for the mines, as people say. I guess the other part of that song is that we don't need an education, or we don't need no education. But this is always an illuminating experience watching curling, considering the different angles and possibilities. As Aronson is mulling things over, settling down on trying to clear the guards to kind of open things up. As we see Halleck push out from the hack, looking just to peel things like a grape. And does knock one of the yellows loose. It does open up a port. So there is a slight opening in the wall as this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. Looks like Tait is going to try to plug the wall with the net stone coming from Wayne Fleming. Let's see how much it curls from here. It looks like we're going to see about 2 feet of curl from the direction away from the walkway. And there it is, another brick in the wall. So we are to skip stones. Aronson's looking to draw. He can't clear that many guards with just 2 stones left. The situation in the house is somewhat favorable for Aronson, especially we were talking about maybe forcing in this end and then trying to convert the hammer in the 7th end and then steal the last end to get back into this game. It's a 2-point game right now, so if Aronson forces Tate to a single, it's a 3-point game. So it's definitely possible to do the scenario I'm thinking, force, convert with multiple points in 7, and then steal the last. It's a tall order. It's a lot of work, especially with these top teams on the ice. So looking for a draw here. I wonder if he's going to be happy if it just kind of wrecks into the pile, which it's not going to. It's going to get around the pile. And then let's see how deep it'll go. Sweepers are really trying to coax every single inch and urge of energy out of this rock, and it's enough to put it into the top 8-foot. So it's just kind of locking down the path to the button. Looks like that would be a good shot there from Aronson. So it looks like Tait is going to take even more ice and probably going to need a little bit more weight to get around that yellow in the biting the 8-foot ring. And this could be a slight miss from Tait, although it's slowing down. So I think it's just going to get a slight bump and not too much of a bump from Tait's last rock there. So it just promotes the Aronson fourth stone up ever so slightly, but not to make too much of a difference. So I definitely feel like the force is on. There's a lot of rocks in play. This is probably the messiest end I've seen so far in this tournament, and it's only day one. We have 5 guards in front of the house, and then we have 7 rocks in the rings, and it's a nice mix of both Aronson and Tait rocks. So we're going to see Aronson probably put up another front stone with his last without the hammer here in the 6th end. And teams are back to being on time because they'll have about 4 minutes per end. Okay, that was an interesting shot. I don't know if it was enough to be shot, as you can see from this overhead. The shooter uh, bumped the blue onto the yellow and pushed the yellow back to the 4-foot. Uh, it looks still to be blue as shots. So again, making it harder for Tait to get multiple points here, as the scoring area is now pretty much the full 4-foot. And I'm curious about what Tait's shot here is. I wonder if he, I think he's going to try to run or tap the blue onto the yellow, or he's maybe just throwing it away. That's what he's doing. He's throwing it away. And that makes perfect sense. Kind of one of the nice things about the sport is kind of knowing when you don't have a shot, you kind of let it go at this point. So there might be a measure. We haven't seen a measure yet in this event, at least on our feature sheets, as they look it over. So to me, it looks blue. They kicked one of the yellows, and Halleck is conceding the one blue, I believe, maybe. Well, he was talking with a skip, so that's not a full concession. Um, Looks like we might be getting a measure as we have the on ice official. You can see him kind of heading down the walkway to grab the measuring device. So we have the most exciting measure in all of sports. It is the pressure gauge from uh, curling. Maybe do some Queen music, under pressure, get some Bowie involved. Do do do, do do do. Because it is the terror of knowing what this world's all about. Watching some people stream let me out. So that's our second sound reference in this game. As we have the measure come in, people who are new to the game, this pressure device is really only possible because we have a fixed point that we measure against, and that is the center of the house, the pin. And so we're going to put the one end of the measuring device into the pin and then apply the pressure to the stone that we think is closest and then spin around clockwise to the other stone and then we'll see. So um, really fascinating. I definitely do enjoy watching the measuring device in action. The NFL wishes they had a device as cool as this pressure gauge. So we have the first rock being measured, and let's see as it comes around. It looks to be maybe yellow, and we'll see the final determination. Uh, Pointing to blue, so it is going to be blue. I'm pretty sure. So, and that's I think the outcome that Aronson probably wanted. Because it definitely keeps the possibility of doing the storing the multiple points in end seven and stealing the eighth end. So it is a single point, and Team Tait is going to take a 6-3 lead over Aronson. We're going to take a quick pause in the action and be right back. Welcome back to the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. This end is being brought to you by Endgame Curling. Looking to put up a guard, and that looks like mission accomplished from Jeff Kunkel. Looks like Aronson's going to want to put up a corner guard with his first. And that looks pretty close for what Aronson wanted. Port's a little narrow, but it definitely seems accessible for the teams. And it looks like Tait is asking Jeff to draw around on the left side from this view. It's going to be right side in just about 3 seconds. Going for the out turn, counterclockwise draw. So a little wide, it's a little exposed. And so now Aronson is going to bring the plane to the rings. Perhaps. They need to score multiple points here, so drawing into the rings early uh, could uh, could be a bit hazardous, as it were. As you see, Calhoun's net struck, looking to hit in a slight roll, I believe. Just a little tap action and a roll towards the center. And that's a pretty well executed shot there from Joel. So the 5 rock rule and the no tick rule are still in effect, but you can take out your own guards if they're not helping you. So it looks like that's what Tait is asking Woody to do. Going to peel their own guard here with the 5th rock to the end. And it looks pretty good. Going to peel the guard, and the first rock is going to go through the house out of play, and then the shooter is going to roll to the wing. So Aronson has two corner guards to play with now, and so this might be a situation where you have a chance to generate some offense. And so I think what they're looking to do is to hit the blue in the house and then roll under the cover of the corner guard on the right side. With Maloney's first shots here. This is over curling as they're going to hang on. And it just wicks that blue in the house, and it's a missed opportunity there. So not quite the flash because it did kind of tick the blue stone, but man, just an unfortunate miss there from Maloney. Net stone coming from Wu, looking to take out the yellow shot stone. And mission accomplished. And so now play is drawn definitively into the rings. That was a good shot there from Woody. And so now Kevin's going to be asked to try to take out at least one of these blue Tait stones in the rings. Looks pretty good to get at least one. Are they going to get both? Just the one. And then the shooter sticks around to be second shot. So I think Tait is going to want to just try to get rid of the yellow, but they don't want to jam on the blue, which is I think why he wants to attack it from the outside. As we see Wayne Fleming push out from the hack. He's got some weight to it. Wants to make sure it stays. Doesn't want to over curl. And it does over curl, unfortunately, or doesn't curl enough. I'm trying to think about the shot. I think it over curled, and so that's why it crossed the face of the stone and jammed the yellow onto the blue. So Aronson is sitting one open, and again, this is a situation where, well, the rock's underway. So thinking about the shot, they have corner guards, and ideally you should use the corner guards to put a second rock into the scoring position buried, and that does seem to be what is happening here. Now the issue is where this rock is going to end up, and it ends up in the back 8-foot area, just behind the 4-foot ring. Second shot, and so now Tate's going to try to look for a double. Neither of those rocks are buried. So, however, if Tait is only successful to get rid of one of the stones, Aronson's still in business to score at least 2 points in this end. So sweepers are really going to try to hold it. Looking for maybe double here. Gets one, and then the yellow gems on the other. So it's kind of reset to where we were 2 shots ago. And again, Aronson still set up to score 2. And looking to try to put up that draw around the corner guard to sit second shot buried. Also looking to go around his own guard. There's an adage that you don't want to use your other team's stones for protection or for guards, as it were. This is curling okay. It might be a little smidge heavy again. but ends up in a pretty good spot. It looks to be about 40% buried. Looks like there is a possible double there. That might be what they're looking at the angles for. Do an in-off double, and then just really kind of put the kibosh on what Aronson's trying to build here in this end. And again, Aronson to really have a strong chance to prevail in this game needs to score at least two here in this end, and then to steal the eighth end, and then steal the extra end. It's a lot of work. It's a challenge, but you know that's one reason why we play the game. So Broom's down, looking for a double here. Probably going to see some heat coming from Sean Tait, much like the heat from my burrito just a little while ago. Trying to push it over a little bit. Looks like it might nose, or actually going to hit the inside of the shot stone. That blue rock is now shot, but it is exposed, and it does give Aronson a chance to hit and roll under cover. And then Tate's going to have a challenge for his last rock without the hammer. Because if they're able to hit and roll successfully and be buried, I would think that Tait would just try to do a heavy draw to tap one of them out, one of the yellows out, and concede a possible two. As we see the first stone coming from Sean Aronson. Weight is a little light. Sweeping to hold the line, especially because they wanted to roll. They wanted it to roll to the right, I believe. Now it's going to roll to the left from this view, and roll into the pocket. So that is I think that's the wrong way to miss that shot, unfortunately, because there's a bit of a pocket, not quite a crotch to throw into. Uh, Question on the chat how the burrito was. I got through like a fifth of the burrito, and it's pretty good so far. So gonna have it the rest of it after this game, and throw in some salsa and maybe some salsa music and have a good time. So, but this is an interesting situation for Tait. If he gets rid of, I mean, obviously he wants to get rid of at least one of them, but if he gets rid of both of them, that's ever sweeter. And then the question is, does Aronson try to blank the end and try to score three? But the blank's not going to happen. Okay, so it does get rid of one of the yellows, and then the shooter rolls through the house to the back, still in play. So Aronson has a draw for two, so the game plan is still on. And this is a shot that Aronson can probably shoot pretty quickly, which is good because they're starting to run tight on time. Still okay on time, and also neither team has used their timeout. Aronson's going to have about 4 minutes and 45 seconds, which is a generous amount of time. And then Tait has about 4 minutes and 18 seconds. So just a draw for a single point. Last time he had a draw for three, he kind of pulled the pin on it. So let's see if it's there. Sweepers are now on it. Needs to be full 12 foot, and it's there. It's there for two. So Operation getting tie this game, force an extra end is still very much in play. as Aronson scores two to draw within one. And we have our final stanza coming up in just a moment when we return to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships, coming to you live from Oakland, California. As we're getting ready for this last stand, let's do one last trip around the rings in regulation. All of these games are still pretty close. There's some games that have widened a little bit, as on sheet A, Team Campbell of Coyotes is up 6-3 over Team Meyer of San Francisco Bay Area. Our feature game is Tait holding a 6-5 lead over Team Aronson. Sheet C, Team Murray is still holding a 4-3 lead over Team Gilbert from Oval Curling of Utah. Two women's games on the ice. On sheet D, Team Camarena is up 6-2 over Team Thangdarai. And then on sheet E, Team Aubrey of Coyotes has a 9-4 lead over Team McDonald of Coyotes, and Team McDonald is being skipped by Megan Grove this weekend. As Andy McDonald, the skip, is decided to not be here, had a better opportunity to be Team USA at the World University Games, and I don't know. I mean, I to represent Team USA or to be here at a regional playdown, uh, priorities, man. And in all seriousness, I think we, on behalf of everyone here at MoPac, wish her and her team well at the WUGS, the World University Games. And just recap, her rink includes Abby Lynn, who curls out of San Francisco, as well as uh, Riley from Coyotes. And then their fourth is not from the region, but I'll look it up just to be sure. Well, they're being coached by Madison Bear. And then Addison Neal curls out of Broomstones from the New England area. So that's a pretty solid lineup, and they've had some success so far at the World University Games, as they won the first game against China 6-5, but then they lost against Norway. So currently at 1-1, and play continues to the weekend. Team McDonald does have a Facebook page if you uh, are interested in finding out more. And the World University Games are in Torino, Italy. That was the site of the 2006 games. And curling is going to be back out in that direction in just over a year's time, as the Milano 2026 games are just around the corner. Turning our attention back to the feature sheets, we are seeing the last of the lead rots from Joel Calhoun. This is Tait, apologies. Tait has the hammer this end, so Aronson's looking to steal, and Aronson started the end off by putting up two center guards, which is a good start to try to force that steal of at least 1 point to tie, 2 points to win. And of course, all Tait needs to do is score a single point to lock down that win, or run Aronson out of stones. So looks like Tait is sitting two in the house, and this is a situation where Aronson's just going to keep loading rocks into the house, and really, really hope they get lucky by sitting shot after 16 rocks, 8 rocks from both teams. So they're going to draw around the center guards. This has some way to go, some ways to go. It's getting there though, and they're looking to. I thought they were going to go to the back, but they are happy to have it end up in the back 4 foot. And Tait is wasting no time putting the broom down for some clearing action from Woody Woo. Teams are still doing pretty well on time, especially as they have not used their timeout yet. So looking to do some peels. And gets both of those yellows moving to the wings. One yellow goes through the house out of play. So that was a solid shot from Wu, although that shooter does provide a guard, and any guard in the storm is to the benefit of Aronson at this point in the game. So as we're wrapping up tonight's game, we have two quadruple headers set for Friday and Saturday before we head into Championship Sunday. The action starts tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. with a contest between Team Barajas of San Francisco taking on Team Spangler from Wine Country. And then at about 1 p.m., we have a contest between Team Murray of Coyotes taking on Team Meyer of San Francisco. And then at 5 o'clock, we have a contest. We have two women's games to round out the night. We have a 5 o'clock game between Team Ewers of OC Curling taking on Team Camarena of San Francisco. And then the nightcap, MoPac After Dark at about 8:30. We have Team Aubrey taking on Team Walsh. Aubrey is a Coyotes rink, as we noted, and then Team Walsh is a San Francisco club. So the action starts tomorrow at 9:30. All of the games are posted to the MoPac YouTube channel, and we do keep live scoring at Bondspieler. And Wu is able to pluck out that rock that was just put up by Kevin Maloney. So we are now to Vice Stones, and we're going to see Jason Halleck put up the rock again to the top 12, tight guard. Just really, really protecting that delicate nest of that one yellow egg. And hopefully Mama Bird will fly home happy tonight. So if they can get it to curl a little bit more, right there, it kind of broke just by the blue stone, and it's going to settle in a really nice path in front of that shot stone. Somewhat tight to the rings, not too tight necessarily, but it definitely does uh, protect that shot stone. And looks like Tait is probably going to try to do another clearing shot, starting with the top blue. As we see Fleming with his first here with the hammer in the eighth end of regulation. If the game is tied after this, we have one extra end to see who will win. Teams get some extra time, and they also get an additional timeout. They have one timeout in the extra, and they do not get to carry over any timeout they did not use in regulation. So the clearing is successful. And now Aronson is kind of, I think, considering the possibilities here, is now calling their timeout. Pardon me. As the teams make their way down the ice. That's the situation in the rings. I guess the conventional wisdom is to put up another guard or to put up another rock in the path. Um, the only concern I would think about is that they might have they might leave Tait a draw for a single point because that shot stone is right now in the back 4 foot. So I would think they have 3 rocks remaining. Halleck really likes a high guard. I would like to maybe they're thinking about maybe splitting the difference, which I think is something that they should try to do to try to make it harder for Tait to get that draw for a single point. If anyone in the YouTube chat has any thoughts about what might happen, obviously feel free to chime in. This is one of the fun parts about the game, thinking about how the shots might end up. So let's say they did decide to do high to middle guard, and I think they're looking to maybe split the difference. I think if they wanted to put it on the center line or just to the left of the center line from this view, that might be the call. As Jason gets set for his last here without the hammer in the 8th end. Little positive release. Let's see what sort of difference that might make on where the rock ends up. This is over curling. I would maybe call a plan B here, maybe bring it in the house or something, because it's not going to do much help to the wings, and it probably would have not gotten to the house. So a missed shot there. Curious about what happened, but that's at least the second time we've seen a shot over curl like that by a bunch. The other time that was from Team Tait, and so now Fleming is going to clear this guard, and then I think Aronson is going to just try to keep really putting guards up to protect that shot stone. There might be a double here, and the double is made. That's Fleming for you. And that double takeout was brought to you by doubletakeout.com. So actually that my thinking about going closer to the center may have not been the best strategy, because that run back was there, and it would have been there if the guard had not been if the guard had been closer to the center. So And so now the draw is there, and that is kind of Aronson's saving shot here. Try to draw around, sit shot, kind of using the blue for protection, which again, as we've discussed before, is not optimal. But uh, if you're trying to steal the tie here, you're going to try anything anything to make it happen. So this is Aronson looking to draw around the cover to sit shots. This is curling up pretty nicely. Weight is okay. Trying to coax it over a little bit more. And that one didn't curl up as much as one of Halleck's last shots. So it's exposed. And that could be the ball game. There's still at least 2 shots to go here. But if Tait is able to make a hit and roll and be buried, and then Aronson, I can't say ball game necessarily, because depending on where Tait's shooter rolls to, Aronson will still possibly have a shot. So the broom's down, as we see Sean Tait make his way down the ice to get set for the first of 2 skip stones for him with the hammer. I didn't realize that Tait uses a delivery broom. Delivery brooms are still allowed. There's been controversy involving brooms and the broom device, the broom pads. But one of the compromises was people having to use new broom pads, but you can still use your old broom, provided that you don't use it for sweeping. So looking for a hit and roll. This looks tight, out of hand. but it looks like it's going to be enough to hit and do the slight roll, and it jammed on the back. So yellow is sitting second shot. And so, like I said, Aronson still has a chance. It's going to be a tough shot, and it's going to, depending on where the yellow ends up, Tait is going to have a chance to either hit it out or run the blue back to score 1 or 2 points. So Aronson probably played the end as best as he could, and like Tait definitely responded in kind. This has been a pretty good battle back and forth as we see Sean Aronson with his last rock without the hammer here in the eighth end, hoping to be in scoring position to steal the eighth to force the extra end. Looking to try to push it over. Also, the weight might be a concern. Weight's decent, but it needs to be shot. Okay. Oh, it spun in right there. Wow. Okay. So they were worried about the weight, so they kind of held off on it, and then it's kind of spun in late and parked right on the pin. That was kind of an unusual maneuver there from the rock. The rock is about 40 to 60% exposed, and so Tait is going to throw a heavy draw, like a hack to board weight at it, just to pick it out or pluck it out, just like an eagle raiding a nest for a more vulnerable bird's eggs, because birds are kind of jerks sometimes. But that should be enough to secure the win. So interesting game. Aronson is shots, and we're going to see for how long as Sean Tait is in the hack. Has 30 seconds to deliver the shot. He's going to have enough time. Last rock, eighth end for the win. Sean Tait. Woody's sweeping it, trying to push it over a little bit. It looks pretty good. Weight's pretty good. It's past the guard, and it's going to be on the Yellowstone. And it's going to hit it right on the nose for two to secure the win. And that is handshakes all around as Team Tait has secured the 8-5 win over Team Aronson. So in this Coyotes clash, this Team Tait has emerged the victor. There's going to be some more Coyotes clashes through the weekend, including I'm trying to see when the next Coyotes clash might be, including Saturday afternoon. So that'll wrap things up on this sheet. Let's take another look around the rings real quick, and then we will wrap things up for tonight as I spell Fiend correctly. Before we go around the rings, just another reminder that tonight's event is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Proprietor Ken Pomeroy updates the site throughout the season to rank the top men's and women's teams from around the world at doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Next time you're confused on ice, take a photo, recreate it on curling.gg, and try multiple outcomes. It's the only platform that lets you take a shot, undo, and try again. Curling.gg. And by Endgame Curling. Unlock your potential with the curling broom that's right for you. So we're going to wrap things up. We're going to take another trip around the rings. And also, as a reminder, scores are being posted to bonspieler.com. It looks like all the games are done. That was the last game on the ice. So let's take a quick loop around the rings here. So on sheet A, it was Team Campbell of Coyotes with the 8-4 win over Team Meyer of San Francisco Bay Area. The Coyote clash between Team Tait and Team Aronson saw Team Tait as the 8-5 victors. Sheet C, score has not been posted. One yellow. Okay, thank you. So Murray came out with a 6-3 win over Team Gilbert of the Oval. And then the website crashed, so I'm just going to riff the remaining scores. Uh, on sheet D, it looks like, oh my gosh. All right, I lost Bonspieler. All right, all right, going to do this manually. We'll do it live on sheets 4. The contest between Team Mewers, sorry, Team Thangdarai and Team Camarena, both of San Francisco Bay Area. It looks like Camarena was the winner. And then on sheet E, Team Aubrey was the winner over Team McDonald, skipped by Megan Grow. And that keeps you up to date on the scores. So we're just going to wrap things up tonight. Definitely appreciate everyone for tuning in. Hopefully, people will join us tomorrow morning at 9:30, where again the opening contest will be Team Barajas of San Francisco taking on Team Spangler of Wine Country, a part of a quadruple header of games, including contests at 1, 5, and 8:30 p.m. So, on behalf of all of us here at MoPac, San Francisco Bay Area Curling, and on behalf of our sponsors, uh, doubletakeout.com, curling.gg, and Endgame Curling. This is your host, Ryan Olson, saying good night and good curling.